All right, welcome back to the CONCACAF W Champions Cup post-match availability. Please be joined by Gotham head coach Juan Carlos Amoros. Before we kick things off, just your ultimate reflections from tonight's game.
Well, I think, again, super proud of the players. No, I think this competition is extremely demanding. I think they've performed in a way today that really show who we are without the ball, with the ball, adapting to the different things the opposition was doing, with players coming into the team that are very young, really stepping up to help. An amazing performance from obviously Shelby getting woman of the match and keeping that clean sheet. But I think that's something we take a lot of pride on. But I think everyone out there was, really giving 200%. And for us to be again in the semi-final, qualified, it's a moment of pride as a club. This competition is really, really difficult. It requires a lot, it demands a lot, it has a lot of impact in the other competitions we play, and I can only, praise my players, our staff for the work they put in. I think we haven't lost a game. Obviously, we will have liked to win the game, but in the end, it was a draw, and I'm very, very happy for the players, and the staff.
All right, over here.
Hi, everyone, how's it going? Obviously, both lineups had a lot of rotation, given the complex schedule ahead. Can you just talk about the second half changes, the halftime change that you made for the second half as you guys started to take control?
So you mean the second half changes when we did the subs?
Yeah, like at halftime when your adjustments between the two halves.
Oh yes. So they were obviously looking like a back four, but more like a build-up with three, so we needed to adjust certain things, especially on the right-hand side, to make sure that we could apply pressure properly. And then on the ball, we needed to adjust a little bit as well the angle of Shelby to help us when they were releasing the pressure on Jess Carter and Howell to help us control the game. I think we did that well. And then we also spoke about, obviously they were almost matching play by play, so be a little bit more aggressive when we try to find the balls in behind. I think we did that also better on the second half. So yeah, those are some of the things that we touched. We can come back to you, Jay.
You want to go now?
No, after it's okay.
Hi, Juan.
Hello.
You sort of touched on it in your opening remarks. Draw, you guys get through. Knowing you, though, you would have wanted to win this game and secure the top spot in the group. So do you view tonight as sort of a job done in getting through, or maybe a slightly missed opportunity or a combination of both?
No, definitely the first one. I definitely see it as getting the job done. Today we had some players that weren't with us, 4 or 5. Then I think we had, like 4 rookies starting the game against, a team that it's obviously one of the best teams in the league. Full of already professional players. That is a challenge for sometimes for us to be mixing together the right things. I think Sophia, Lily, Josie, Sarah, they were fantastic. I think Jess, Katie, Mandy, Jaylin were great, leading the team more on the senior side. I think it was really special to see how everyone was ready to contribute and to help. And sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, sometimes you draw, but there are certain standards that we want to show when we play as Gotham. And I think again it was a game where I think we dominated on those chances. We had more shots and could have gone either way as well. They had a very good chance. I think we had a couple that were very, very clear as well. The goalkeeper also put out a couple of very good saves. I think there is one as well in there with the crossbar, with the rebounds, like base football. So it was 0-0, and I think I'm definitely on the positive side with this one. Especially in this competition, there is not really a field advantage like we saw that last year. You go to a neutral venue and it was something we really enjoyed, and we really want to be in that contention again. We are the reigning champions of this competition. We want to make sure it stays that way, and I think it's something was one of our targets for the second half of the year, and we're very happy to achieve it.
Wanted to follow up on that previous question. Obviously, you said you saw the weaknesses on the right side. When you brought Rose and Shaw in, was that because of those weaknesses that you saw, or was it just minutes?
Yeah, it was both things, Like I think Kaya was excellent, but obviously probably to keep that continuity that Jaden we wanted her to come on at that time. Then Bruna, Mandy, I think they are both getting a lot of minutes lately, and I think Jess and Emily, they also rotated there. I think in the rookies I forgot actually we had 5 because Kayla was also playing, and I think she was outstanding. I think her performance was truly remarkable. It was the first time because she's played maybe 2 of these games a little bit where the opposition probably doesn't demand as much, but today she was playing against Give Monday and Sofia Cantore, which are like international players, like of the highest caliber, and it was really her first game starting against an NWSL opposition, and I think she saw the reasons why we signed her, so a lot of credit to her. So again, we had five rookies in the team, and the team was able to perform the way they did, so I'm super proud of every single one of the players today.
Juan Carlos, thanks for speaking with us. I wanted to ask first about, lately it seems like when Josephina's played, she's been maybe as a double 10 rather than alongside Jalen tonight. It seemed like she was trying to stay much closer to Jalen than we've seen in the league.
I think that role is a key role for us. The number, we call it the number 8, is so important because she's doing both. It's not all the time doing one, all the time doing the other. There are moments where she needs to do one, moments where she needs to do the other, and it's very demanding on the understanding of the game. That's why when we signed Josie, we knew what she could do. I spoke with her about the process of adaptation, and I remember even one of the games she didn't even roster. But we needed to make sure that we got it right with her, and she's definitely a very intelligent woman. As you know, she comes from Harvard, which obviously it's a great school, and she is really a person that really thinks deeply about the game, and that's what that position requires, and I think he's applying it really well. So the answer is a bit of both. So that's what is the beauty of it.
I also wanted to ask about the usage of Jaden, not just tonight, but since she's arrived. I think she's now played on the right, on the left, as a 9 late in the game tonight. Obviously she can play the 10. Are you finding your way with where she fits in best, or is it much more today we need you here, tomorrow we might need you there?
Yeah, I think today's been a little bit more the case. We knew there were certain scenarios during the game that maybe we could use her on different positions. I think Sarah was doing a good job on the left. I think Jaden was also very good on the last game on that position. But then also when a player plays in one position, then you need to look also who are the players that are playing in others. So for example, Jaden is definitely more of a combination player, both through, but when she plays on one side, you probably need someone like Mitch or Kaya, players that are maybe a bit more vertical on others, So I think in there is also not only what she plays, but who she plays with, So obviously it's still very early, she's very versatile, we know that. That's also part of the reasons why we signed her, but we want to help her to grow and master certain things, and I think at this point the more time she can spend on the pitch, especially with this amount of games that we have. I think since she's been in the team, I think 3 weeks, we play 6 games, and no, am I right or wrong? Like, I think it's a lot, So some players in other teams to play 6 games, it's almost 30% of the season, 25% of the season. So for us, it's a lot more demanding, and I think having her and these things are definitely speeding up her process of adaptation, which, to be fair, I have to give a lot of credit to herself. I think she's been fantastic. Is such a great character to have in the changing room and off the changing room. Like we spend a lot of time in hotels and so on, and she's been great on the pitch, but she's been also great off the pitch for sure.
I did want to ask about, in general, when I watch Gotham games, I notice the attack, the interchange of positions. Players are very fluid. Tonight it seemed like there was a little bit of rigidity going forward. Was that something you saw in the game, or was that something that was maybe a response to the game as it unfolded?
I think with that's very good that you highlight that, because we like to call our style structure fluidity, with fluidity referring to the offensive part of the game. I think in there it depends also on the players that are playing. I think sometimes when there is a lot of change, a lot of young ones, they still obviously need a bit more time to understand those rotations, and they were able to to do it at times, and sometimes they were able to do their own roles. I think in there we give a lot of freedom to our players, and the more they play, the more they understand it. So probably today maybe we were a bit more rigid in that place, maybe, but we were still dominating in the positions we wanted. The rotations is something that not me, any coach, you do it to try to confuse the position, create a space and time and for yourself or for a teammate, and it's very complex. So that's something that we put a lot of emphasis, and I think still, I think Sofia Cook was really good with them when she needed to join, when she needed to overload on the right. I think she, for example, was a good example of doing that job really well.
All right, we'll do one question over here and then wrap with Peyton.
You all have played a number of games in this building over the past couple of years, this one and last summer. What has it been like to have this building as kind of a home away from home?
Well, we love it. I think it's a great venue. I spent a little bit of time at the beginning of the game upstairs with JD and my analyst team just to see the picture, and it was beautiful. From up there you can see the river, you can see the bridge, the stadium. It's an amazing view. So, and I think we feel at home here in Philly. For us coming here, a lot of our fans come from this area anyway, so sometimes for them to save them some driving is good. I also saw a lot of the people that we see in our stadium that are driving from up there. I think Gotham obviously would represent New Jersey, New York, but we represent a lot of the people on the East Coast, and for us to play some games in such a fantastic city like Philadelphia is fantastic, and we loved it. We've had two very good experiences, both being against Washington. I think last year we won. This year we qualified for the semifinal. I think it's been fantastic, and hopefully we can keep building this relation with the city of Philadelphia.
And then we'll wrap with Peyton.
Hi, Juan. Thanks
Hello,
for
Peyton.
Kyle Harper is someone who's gotten a lot more time throughout this competition, this group stage, kind of as it comes to its conclusion. Saw her in multiple positions, she got her goal. What you've kind of seen from her in the development decision to play her on the left side?
Well, I've seen someone that has been really committed to improve. I think it's never easy to give that step from college into this level. Obviously, she's also someone that maybe hasn't had that regular international experience or other experiences from the young players. So it was definitely an adaptation, but she's put her head down, she works before training, she's asking questions how she needs to do, what she needs to do to be better. And I think those little margins is what makes players better. I think she had a lot of support there from Anton, our person in charge of the individual development plan. The coaches have been working a lot with her, and I think she's showing she's got that special ability. I think today she was a constant threat. We can keep tailoring with her the final outcome. I think she's a player that definitely in the future and in the present already can be someone that can be very good for us and that can have a brilliant professional career, which is something that we put a lot of emphasis and focus on.
Thank you, Juan.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for driving and coming all the way here as well.